Hey everybody, how we doing? Mason here, Cardinal Gaming. Appreciate you guys clicking on the video, supporting the channel, supporting the store. Let's just start off right off the bat. We're going to talk about investing and stonks and all that kind of stuff. So let me just throw it all out there in case it's not clear. I'm not an economist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert at anything. I'm just a dude that owns and sells Pokemon stuff. So this is all my opinion and blah 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 blah. Don't take it like it's the gospel. Okay, cool. Got that out of the way. That being said, if you do disagree with anything, feel free to write a comment down there and let me know what you think, because my opinion is just as valid as yours. Only I have stuff behind me, and that obviously means I know what I'm talking about, right? No. Okay. So I want to talk about a term that is getting thrown around a lot, and it's been thrown around throughout this whole boom of Pokemon, and people saying it's simply not sustainable. All this with Pokemon, it simply isn't sustainable. All these millions of booster boxes that are selling across the world, this is not sustainable. This can't be happening. This is going to eventually all fall off a cliff. We're all going to lose our asses, and we're just going to be just poor Timmies. Kinda. There could be some merit to that. Again, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. It's all really depending on what Pokemon does, right? So let's break that term down, what that means, and if it's not sustainable, what would make it sustainable, and how things would typically go back down. So we're going to be mostly talking about sealed modern stuff. Well, we can throw some WotC vintage stuff in there, maybe some graded stuff as we see those returns swamp back to people. It's all over Facebook where people are getting hundreds and hundreds of slabs back. We'll see how that plays out here in the next couple months or so. Should be interesting. But that's another video. Let's not talk about that. So sustainability means things hold, right? Sustains. It sustains. Things are. That means that something to sustain itself. It's got to be matching all the other outward pressures that are putting onto something, and it's withstanding. It's holding. It's holding strong, just like in a T-pose. T-pose. Anyways, that's the kind of stuff that you're talking about sustainability. So when you talk about pricing with sustainability, to make that unsustainable would mean that either demand would have to drop, which you could say that demand is dropping. Obviously, Celebrations didn't see all that huge of drop. Definitely was a pretty wild weekend for that kind of stuff. But moving forward for standard type products, what is that looking like? And what does that mean for like past old sets? And again, it goes back to the video that I did a couple days ago now about if things are going to maintain and hold where they're at, and that kind of pricing and what would have to happen to get there, we can talk about right now. So Pokemon is running out of time to go back and reprint some of this stuff because TCGs keep marching forward. To keep people interested and keep the game building on itself, it has to keep putting out new cards all the time. It's got to keep cranking it out constantly. So for them to have to halt everything and go back and print older stuff would take a pretty big effort. And it would take halting the printers from printing the insane demand that they are trying to keep up with currently, so that things in the future don't have supply issues like Fusion Strike is having, and the Crimson Vow Magic set that is having set booster issues and having things delayed, and the collector's tins and all the other shortages of Celebrations that we saw, and things aren't keeping up with how they are now. So to sustain this kind of insane stuff to keep happening would have to mean that the market would have to stay the same, which it looks like it is. It's not getting better. Prices aren't going down. And I would argue that even if prices did go down, people would just be right back at gobbling it up again at the cheaper price. And then it would still be sold out. So to make this unsustainable, Pokemon have to print a bunch and flood the market or demand would have to drop drastically. Both of those could potentially happen. And most people are saying, yes, $200 booster boxes aren't supposed to be a thing. It's not going to be a thing in the future. We don't know how far down in the future. We don't know, right? But it's not supposed to be a thing. It's not healthy for the game. It's not healthy for the market, because if things maintain these higher price points, Pokemon is looking around going, okay, MSRP is not making sense, because obviously people are buying this stuff up at an insane rate. So then it throws off whole kind of balance of, okay, what kind of value do you put on certain items? How much of these collectability things? What is a value of, like, the Pikachu VMAX figure? What does that figure cost? What do the people value it at? Then you kind of tweak that kind of product and say, okay, well, if I can sell it for $50 before, but people are actually paying $90 for it, this is looking like it needs to go up in price. Again, that's not what Pokemon wants to do. The easier answer is just to start pumping out product. But that in itself isn't a sustainable business model, because you have to go back to reprint this stuff, and then while printing the stuff that's going forward, it's a tug of war that you can't win. Both sides can't win. So that's why in the last video I was talking about no one's going to go back and print base set Sun and Moon, because there's just too much happening going forward. Was basically, did I say Sun and Moon? Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is what I meant. Jeez. I don't know why I always get those confused. I don't know. But the point is, time marches on. Things keep continuing forward. And to say that this isn't sustainable for the stuff that's existing, Evolving Skies, those types of products, it could be. Unless they go back and reprint them, right? But those prices are at least temporarily going to sustain, because as things like organized play come back and good cards are in these things like Battle Styles. Battle Styles has a lot of great competitive cards, and people are going to need the singles from there, which is going to cause that kind of product to move. And if it's not available, that things have to go up, and all that kind of stuff. The singles market is going to be very interesting to watch. If you guys haven't been looking at things like the Ultra Brawl insanity, what happened when Ultra Brawl said it was going to be reprinted in Fusion Strike, that those kind of prices flew through the roof for all the secret rares of Ultra Ball. Stuff like that is where people that know what they're doing can potentially take advantage of that and make some moves to make some money. But product here now, I just don't think that somebody that bought a case of Evolving Skies when it came out at $140 is going to be okay with shipping it off for the $60 profit that they can make right now. Of course, after shipping and fees on eBay and stuff like that, wherever they sell it at, that's all can vary. But anyways, point is, that's not investing. That's just like taking advantage of the situation and just like the market that it is currently. To say something is not sustainable from a investing standpoint, you're talking about years and years down the road, which at that point you can kind of say it really depends up to Pokemon. And so you have to look at what other people are doing, really, basically, know. And it always is the outliers that, do well or don't do well and kind of make a mistake. But if you look at stores and look at bigger players in the game, your Troll and Toads, your big companies like that are buying and selling Pokemon, eating and breathing Pokemon, all the things that they're moving and they're buying up right now and things like that, that dictates where the market eventually goes, because they know how demand is going to be, because we've all been here before. So even like your local LGS, if they go, I'm okay with this being on my shelf for this price and it not selling out every day, it's because we know that it's not coming anytime soon. Until that and all these things get restocked and reprinted, and we start panic selling and lowering the prices. Oh no, I can sell more product for cheaper, dang it. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. Everybody wants that. I can sell more product. Yay, that's good. That's a good thing. So that's why these things, we say this is sustaining pricing. When it's not sustainable is when the market starts to fall off a cliff. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to ever be in that situation where Pokemon just releases another 10 million booster boxes of whatever set. I just don't think it's going to be happening. And it won't be foretold to us. Not going to surprise us with a random mystery amount of stuff coming back. It's just not going to happen. So that's why, even as long term, if you assume that demand is going to taper off and things like that, people leave the market and it's just not as hot as anymore. It's definitely going to be more like a float down rather than a falling off a cliff kind of situation. So that's something to think about as well, and that we got to just watch the bigger players and see what they're doing to kind of dictate what you're doing. So if all this stuff, if we were freaking out and we're just hot potatoing this product and trying to get rid of it and offload it because we know more is coming, it'd be a different situation. These prices would be not what they were. My shelves would be empty because I could be getting new product next week. That kind of situation. So we're not there. Until we get there, we are sustaining. This is holding. So what else I got on here? Yeah, I made little notes. So as things start to cool, and if you are a person that maybe wants to sit on some stuff for a little while, it's going to be far more easy and a smarter idea to sit on things like the Marnie milk carton tins. If you have a bunch of those, not the tins, but the cartons. If you have a bunch of those, it's a good hold. I don't see Pokemon ever printing that ever again. It doesn't make sense to. For something like the evolution boxes that are coming out with all the alt arts in them, obviously it's going to be a super hot product. Pokemon could print as much as you could print in this short amount of time, and it wouldn't be enough. I think those are obviously going to be huge, expensive products, and they're going to be very hot forever because it's just that kind of product. So those kind of niche items, things like specialty products, things like maybe some of the larger celebration boxes that may not be reprinted, stuff like that is going to be potentially good. Again, Celebration's got 3 waves to it, and we don't know what the waves are looking like, so let's not all just freak out about that stuff and start buying off this expensive stuff to sit on. I wouldn't suggest that. Again, I'm not an expert, don't know what's happening. I'm an idiot, don't listen to me. But anyways, we all are playing wait and see. And until then, and we know what's happening, and Pokemon finally does get things back in gear, we're holding. Because that's the safest thing to do. We are sustaining. Okay, what else I got? And even like with specialty products, think about like Champion's Path ETBs. Pretty mellow product, not here recently, not doing a whole lot movement. But things like that, things that have chase cards in it, is what I call Schrodinger's Charizard. Is there Charizard in there? Is there not? Until you open it, you don't know. Is it a dead box? Is it... You don't know. Is the Charizard dead? No, that wouldn't make sense. I understand that's what Schrodinger means, is that cat alive or dead. But the point is, we don't know what's in there until we open it. So that's the kind of the allure of sealed, and why sealed always has a premium to it. Because any one of these Celebrations ETBs could have 3 Charizards in it. We don't know. And that's the kind of the allure and the gambling aspect of sealed, and why that always carries a premium. So something always to think about with stuff like that. But again, specialty stuff I think is going to be where it's at. Standard is going to be less so. It's really just kind of a place to maybe if you want to do some short-term stuff in between the waves. But all in all, I don't think Standard, I don't think Fusion Strike is going to be an amazingly flippable set. I don't think it's going to be doing anything crazy. And if and when we ever get these reprints, we're going to see all the previous sets obviously not be as investable either. So, but yeah. So that's where, if you talk about sustainability, yes, we're sustaining now. But yes, that will eventually come to an end. It has to. Because either Pokemon's going to do something, or the market's going to do something to where this isn't happening anymore. So you'll hear that thrown around a lot and say it's not sustainable, but until conditions change, until the outward pressures change, that product is going to maintain. Something to think about. Stuff I'm thinking about. Stuff during the holiday season we got to think about. So that's all I got, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for hanging out. Again, throw in the comments what you think. When? When will it end? When will we be not sustainable in this market anymore? I'm interested to see what you guys think. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.